Welcome to Recap your movie recap in a flash. We bring the drama, the action, and the twists in minutes. The movie begins with our protagonist, Kraven, in Russia. He boards a prisoner transport vehicle as they move through the icy terrain until they reach the prison. Once there, he enters his cell, where he encounters a slightly unhinged inmate who isn't thrilled about sharing the space. The inmate says, "I don't like having anyone with me in the cell." Kraven responds, "Bear with me for just 3 days, no more than that. After that, do whatever you want." The next day, we see Kraven working out in the prison yard. 2 large, intimidating men approach him, mocking him. One of them says, "Well done, now go play somewhere else." They grab the weights from his hands, but Kraven, not yet finished with his workout, lifts them along with the weights and continues his exercise. In the end, he throws them aside like they're nothing. At this point, the leader of a gang in the prison notices him and learns what Kraven did to his men. He sends more of his men to summon Kraven to his cell. When Kraven arrives, we learn the leader's name is Simon, a notorious and powerful arms dealer known around the world. Simon asks, "Who are you, and what are you in here for?" Kraven replies, "I'm the hunter. My hobby is hunting people like you." Simon retorts, "Do you even know who I am?" But before he can finish, Kraven pulls out sharpened tiger fangs, saying, "I've come here specifically for you, and I'll make sure you join the others I've hunted." Suddenly, Kraven uses the tiger fangs to quickly take out the 2 men with Simon, and then turns on Simon himself, brutally attacking him with the fangs until he kills him. Kraven then escapes the cell and attempts to flee the prison. He leaps across walls and windows with unnatural agility, revealing that he has superhuman abilities. The prison guards open fire, but Kraven dodges the bullets and eventually escapes with ease. As he runs, he encounters a storm, and amidst the storm, a wolf appears, ready to attack. But Kraven stands his ground, staring into the wolf's eyes. The wolf, as if seeing a lion's eyes, becomes frightened and retreats. However, the prison guards continue to pursue Kraven. He finds a waiting plane, boards it quickly, puts on headphones, and relaxes. The story then flashes back 16 years to explain how Kraven became who he is. We see 2 brothers. The older one is Kraven, and the younger is named Dmitri. Their father, Nikolai, comes to pick them up, informing them that their mother has committed suicide. When confronted, Nikolai blames her mental illness, denying any responsibility. He tells them to forget the past and start a new life with him. When asked about a funeral, Nikolai dismisses the idea, saying she doesn't deserve one because she took her own life. He then announces that they will go on a hunting trip to Tanzania to hunt the legendary lion, Tsar, a creature feared by all. Nikolai declares that whoever hunts Tsar will become a legend and live as a king among men. Meanwhile, we are introduced to a young girl named Calypso, who is playing with tarot cards. Her grandmother warns her that the cards reveal the future and gives her a card depicting a lion attacking a young man. She also hands Calypso a mysterious vial of liquid, saying it has the power to heal any wound and grant superhuman strength. Back in the jungle, Nikolai, his men, and his sons hunt gazelles. Nikolai mocks Dmitri, calling him useless and unworthy of working with him. Later, as Kraven and Dmitri wander through the forest, they encounter Tsar, the legendary lion. Without hesitation, Kraven prepares his weapon and asks Dmitri to cover him. But as Kraven looks to Tsar, neither attacks the other, as if they share a mysterious connection. Their father arrives and shoots the lion, causing Tsar to charge at Kraven, knocking him unconscious. Tsar carries Kraven away, both of them bleeding from their injuries. Dmitri and Nikolai are left helpless. Tsar takes Kraven to a secluded spot, but does not eat him. Instead, some of Tsar's blood mixes with Kraven's wounds. At the same time, Calypso hears Tsar's roar and recalls her grandmother's words. She finds Tsar holding Kraven in his jaws. Tsar gently places Kraven on the ground and leaves. Calypso gives Kraven the liquid from the vial, which mixes with Tsar's blood in his body. She calls for an ambulance and leaves the tarot card with him before departing. At the hospital, doctors struggle to save Kraven, but his heart stops, and they declare him dead. Suddenly, Kraven comes back to life, his eyes now resembling Tsar's. The doctors are shocked, and Kraven finds the tarot card left by Calypso. He returns home, where his father berates him for not killing Tsar, calling him a coward and weak like his mother, useless in life. Then they are surprised that he finished off the lion and hung its head in his office. They see him as a strong man how he found her after all these years. He tells her he is the hunter everyone is searching for, and that he avenged her friend by punishing Simon in prison. She later confirms online that Simon was indeed killed in jail, and learns that Kraven hunts down criminals, eliminating them in his unique way. No one knows his identity, and he is only known as the Hunter. The next day, Kraven meets Calypso again, thanking her for saving him as a child, and confessing that he gained superhuman powers the day the lion attacked him. He proposes a deal, asking her to help him track down arms and drug trafficking gangs, using her position as a lawyer in a prominent law firm. She hesitates, saying she needs time to think about it. Meanwhile, we learn about Alex, whom Nikolai had humiliated in the jungle years ago. Alex has since become the country's biggest crime boss, dealing in all kinds of illegal activities. His assistant informs him about Simon's death in prison and identifies Kraven as the culprit, adding that Kraven has a notebook containing a list of names, including Alex's. However, Alex dismisses the warning, instructing his assistant to gather Simon's top 3 men for a meeting. When they convene, Alex reveals that he was the mastermind behind Simon's operations, and that one of them must kill the other 2 to become his right-hand man. Initially, they laugh at him, but Alex reveals a device implanted in his body, granting him superhuman strength and altering his appearance with strange skin. One of them panics and shoots at Alex, but the bullets have no effect. Alex's assistant kills the shooter, leaving only 2 men remaining. "Who's with me?" One of them finishes off the other and says, "I'm with you." After that, we go to Nikolai, Kraven's father, who now owns a nightclub. We see Dimitri's brother sitting at the piano, singing and enjoying his life. At that moment, he sits with the person who took Simon's place and tells him, "I'll partner with you in the deals you'll make." The man agrees, but Nikolai grabs him by the neck and says, "Do you think I am stupid? Believe me, I don't trust you." Suddenly, armed men attack, and a shootout erupts everywhere. The nightclub turns into a battlefield. We find out that Dimitri is still cowardly and hides under the piano, watching his father fight alone until he gets injured. After the fight ends, his father grabs him and scolds him. He leaves him, and the assistant goes to Alex, informing him that the operation failed and Nikolai is still alive. However, he tells him that someone left a flash drive at his doorstep. When they play it, they find a video showing prison footage of him escaping after killing Simon, containing all the information about him. He realizes that he is the hunter and also Nikolai's son. He then decides to assign one of his men, named Kari, to finish the job. Kari goes to the prison, trying to find evidence, but a police officer spots him and asks, "What are you doing here?" We discover that Kari has supernatural powers, allowing him to disappear at any moment. He eliminates the officer instantly. The next day, Kraven visits his brother to celebrate his birthday, as they do every year. While they're sitting, their father barges in urgently, but Kraven doesn't appreciate his presence, greeting him dismissively and showing no interest in his words, just wanting the night to pass peacefully. At the end of the day, he takes his brother home. Dimitri tells him, "I'm upset with you for leaving me to live with that man alone and not taking me with you." He then falls asleep. Kraven sleeps in the living room, but struggles because he's used to sleeping in the wilderness. He steps outside and sleeps on the street. The next morning, he wakes up and returns to his brother, only to find Dimitri missing and bloodstains on his bed. He rushes to the window and sees a gang forcibly putting his brother into a car. His adrenaline kicks in, and he uses his supernatural powers, jumping out of the window, sliding down from high floors, and chasing after them. The gang kidnaps his brother, and he runs after them at an incredible speed, but they manage to escape. He falls onto a building, breaking the glass, and continues chasing them until he clings to their car, breaking its windows. Despite gunfire and collisions, he clings on, using his strength to crush the car door. They eventually shoot him off the car, and he falls. They try to escape to a plane waiting to take them. Before it takes off, he reaches them, throws a net onto the plane, and holds on with all his might, preventing it from flying. They shoot at him, and he grabs a metal rod, throwing it at one of them. He runs at them, holding onto the net as they try to take off. Eventually, he falls into the water, and the plane disappears. He goes to his friend and tells her that a gang kidnapped his brother. He noticed one of them was Turkish, with a mark under his eye. She tells him to calm down, saying she knows people. Later, he goes to his father and tells him everything that happened. His father already knows and says the gang sent him his brother's finger to see. They're threatening to kill him unless he pays $20 million. Kraven asks, "What are you waiting for? Pay them what they want." His father refuses, saying, "I won't pay anything because it would make me look weak and destroy the empire I've built over the years." Kraven gets angry, calling him selfish and accusing him of not caring about his son. Meanwhile, Calypso meets someone who gives her information about the gang that kidnapped Dimitri, saying their leader is named Omar and is hiding near Ankara, Turkey. After she leaves, we learn the man is a traitor working for Kari. He gave her false information as part of a trap to capture Kraven and kill him. When Alex confirms the man delivered the information, he immediately kills him and calls Omar, telling him to prepare because the hunter is coming for you in Ankara and I want you to take him down. Calypso informs Kraven about Omar, and without hesitation, Kraven heads to the gang's location. He sneaks into their hideout, taking them down one by one. A fierce battle ensues, and they can't stop him. He eliminates them all and captures their leader, Omar, threatening to throw him off a mountain unless he reveals his brother's whereabouts. At that moment, Kraven notices snipers aiming to blow up the place. He quickly leaps away as the explosion occurs, and both he and Omar land on the ground. Kraven demands to know where his brother is, but Omar reveals that the one who kidnapped him is Alex. The entire place explodes, and rocks fall on them. The gang assumes Kraven is dead. They try to clear the rubble to film proof of his death and celebrate, only to find him standing behind them. He finishes them off and calls Calypso, telling her about the ambush and warning her to escape immediately because they're likely coming for her. He tells her to meet him at a designated location. Meanwhile, 5 men enter her building, searching for her. She quickly gathers her belongings, including a vial passed down from her grandmother, and escapes. At the same time, Dimitri is freed and kept with the gang leader, who reveals, "I wanted to kill your brother, but I found you instead, so I kidnapped you to lure him here." He forces Dimitri to watch a video of his brother escaping from prison, realizing he has supernatural powers. The leader tells him, "I know you hate your brother because your father never valued you or treated you with respect. I was just like you until I met a doctor who gave me supernatural powers. Now I'm the strongest man in the world, but I feel pain all over my body, so I don't use. This power is only for necessity. So what do you think if I send you to this doctor and you gain superpowers? I'll make you my right-hand man." Dimitri refuses to join him, and just as Alex was about to kill him, his assistant comes in and informs him that Kraven is still alive, has taken out their men, and could arrive at any moment. At this point, we see Kraven and Calypso on their way to the place where he resides. Suddenly, a cheetah attacks them, but Kraven charges at it like a lion, pinning it to the ground. It turns out they're just playing, as they are very familiar with each other. He talks to the cheetah, which understands him, and then leaves. That same night, Kari sneaks into Alex's place using his superpowers, unnoticed by anyone. He sits with Alex and tells him that he knows Kraven's location and where he's hiding. He assures Alex that he can easily reach him. Kari insists they prepare the men, weapons, and a large force to storm the jungle and finish Kraven. Alex agrees, and they set out. Meanwhile, Calypso is in Kraven's house, discovering his vast arsenal of weapons. She picks up a bow and tries it, revealing her proficiency in archery. Kraven walks in and is impressed by her skill. He then takes out the vial of liquid he drank the day she saved him and tells her he knows it brought him back to life. He asks if she has more of it, as he might need it again. She sadly replies that she doesn't. The liquid was inherited from her grandmother, who passed away, and the last of it was what he drank. Meanwhile, the men prepare to attack Kraven. Kari tells Alex that the injection Kraven takes causes hallucinations and drains his strength until it kills him. Kari has plenty of these injections and plans to use them on Kraven. They bring Dmitri along as bait to lure Kraven and make him reveal his location. Dmitri is forced to talk to Kraven, threatening him with his brother's life if he doesn't join their side. Alex warns Kraven that if he refuses, they will send him his brother's head, just as they previously sent him his brother's finger. Furious, Kraven hangs up, prepares his weapons, and gets ready for battle, knowing they've found his location. The attackers also prepare for the fight, positioning weapons everywhere to ensure Kraven doesn't escape this time. Suddenly, Kraven's cheetah companion attacks, taking out several men before fleeing. Kraven sneaks into the jungle, picking off the attackers one by one. He sets traps and eliminates more of them. Realizing this, Alex orders bombs to be dropped on Kraven from above. Though they manage to bomb the area, Kraven escapes through the jungle, avoiding the explosions. The jungle catches fire, but Kari traps Kraven and injects him with the hallucinogenic serum. Kraven begins hallucinating, seeing spiders attacking him, but he refuses to give up. He fights through the hallucinations and tries to take down Kari. However, Kari overpowers him, pinning him down. In a moment of clarity, Kraven manages to knock Kari to the ground and starts attacking him, but it turns out to be a hallucination. Kraven was actually hitting a tree trunk and has completely lost his strength due to the serum. He collapses, unable to move. Kari picks up a weapon to finish him off, but at the last moment Calypso intervenes, shooting Kari in the head and saving Kraven. She approaches Kraven, realizing he's on the brink of death, and gives him the last of the liquid she had. Kraven revives and realizes Calypso had lied about not having more of the liquid. Revived and enraged, he prepares to continue the fight. Alex and his men, thinking Kraven is dead, take Dmitri and leave the jungle. Suddenly, they are attacked by a herd of buffalo. Alex activates a device to gain superhuman strength, ensuring he survives the buffalo attack. The buffalo overturn their vehicles and eliminate most of Alex's men. Seizing the opportunity, Kraven attacks Alex with all his might. Alex, now transformed into a creature resembling a rhinoceros, fights Kraven in a brutal battle. Though Alex is stronger, Kraven notices a vulnerable spot on Alex's side where the device is implanted. Exploiting this weakness, Kraven strikes, causing Alex to lose strength. Kraven quickly ties Alex up and throws the rope to the buffalo herd, which tramples Alex, leaving him powerless. Kraven approaches Alex and demands to know who revealed his location. Alex shockingly admits that it was Kraven's father who provided all the information. Furious, Kraven finishes Alex off and rescues his brother. Days later, Kraven confronts his father, asking why he betrayed him and his brother. His father explains that Alex was ruining his business deals and was always a competitor in the market. He devised a plan to pit Kraven against Alex, knowing Kraven was the only one capable of eliminating him. Kraven's father admits he always knew about Kraven's superhuman abilities and saw him as the ultimate hunter. Though enraged, Kraven spares his father, saying he could never bring himself to kill him despite everything. As Kraven leaves, a bear attacks his father. His father reaches for his weapon, only to find it empty. Kraven had taken all the bullets. The bear kills him, marking a fitting end to his treachery. A year later, Kraven celebrates his brother's birthday. His brother notices a change in Kraven, who admits he visited the same doctor who treated him. Kraven discovers his brother is now involved with international criminal organizations, following in their father's footsteps. This leads to a heated argument and Dmitri ultimately leaves. Kraven chases after him, trying to make him turn back from the path he's on, but he was shocked when he saw his brother's features transform to look exactly like his own face, and he said to him, "I can make my face look like anyone I want, and now I have superpowers. I will take my father's place, and no one in the whole world will be able to stop me. Show me then how you plan to stop me." And we find out that there will be a second part to the movie. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next